to talk about what's going on around the world. Before I proceed with that, I want to take the time out to thank my many followers who have subscribed to my channels, who have tapped that bell for more notification of future videos that I put on here, whether it's live or videos I posted. I want to say thank you to all of you all. When you subscribe to my videos, when you watch my videos, or when you tap that bell for more notification, it helps my channel to grow. And who wouldn't want their channel to grow? But I also am thankful for you all because it makes me feel good that I'm doing what God put upon my heart. He told me years ago to go out onto the social platform and to spread his word. And it's not for again for my glory, it's for God's glory. Because there are so many people out there who don't know which direction to take and in their lives. They're going through so much worry and stress or whatever they're going through, and they don't know how to figure out. But when they turn on to YouTube and they see Let's Chat with Sporty, and they tap on my channel and tap on the bell, and they see all these spiritual videos and posting, it helps them to make them feel that they have a solution to their problem. And it also so many people out there who don't know who God is, and there's still time in this world to seek him first before anything else, before it's too late. So I want to say thank you to all of you all, because again, it helps my channel to grow, but it helps me to realize that I'm doing what God instructed me to do, to reach out to the community and to not only social platform, but wherever I go, because at the end of the day, it's his glory that he should receive, and it's him that we should honor and praise. So I want to take the time, I say thank you to all. Now, I'm coming on here because I have been watching the news that's going on around the world, as many of all of you all have. I know that everyone have heard the latest situation about Don Lemon. If you all don't know who he is, he had was once a former CNN news anchor, news host, whatever you want to call it. He was. He was working for CNN at one point in time, and they had to let him go because I guess it was something about sexual harassment on at CNN where he worked at. And so I don't want to go into details about that. So he had then became had started his own news platform with on YouTube, and I think on TikTok, and I believe it's on Facebook too. I'm not questionable about Facebook, but he's been going around reporting, things around the world. He's also had he's mainly talking about the corrupt uh, uh, government system or political system that is that is evolving or going around as we speak today. Well, I came across this on the news, but I want to read a little bit about it. Pharmacy and anchor Don Lemon, an independent Minnesota journalist, Georgia Fort, was among four people, and the thing about it was he was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Was among four people arrested by federal agent in connection to an anti ICE protest at a church in Minnesota. Journalist, press advocate, and Democratic lawmaker accused the Trump administration of attempting to intimidate independent accountability reporting. A Minnesota grand jury had indicted the four on charges related to the interruption of religious service at the church, where a U.S. immigration and customs enforcement official served as a pastor. Lemon had followed the protesters, and as they demonstrated in his live stream video, he said he is there as a journalist. He interviewed the pastor and other present as well as protesters. Some of President Trump's supporter argue he had participated in the disruption. In a statement posted on social media, Lemon attorney Abby Lowell called the arrest as unprecedented attack on the First Amendment and transparent attempt to distract attention from the many crises facing this administration. Amnesty International demanded the release of Lemon and Ford, calling their arrest a critical threat to our human rights. Reporting on protests isn't a crime. As protesters by the First Amendment, said Jamil Jeffers, executive director of the Knight First Amendment Institute at Columbia University. The Justice Department should drop these prosecution, or they should be thrown out. So it goes on again about what's going on, about arresting him. It says on Friday morning, Justice Department officials celebrate the arrest of Lemon in California after failing twice to secure arrest warrant for him in Minnesota. So, and it's going on. They wanted to arrest him because they sit there and say that he was at the protest and he was being disrupted in the church. It says the footage showed that he was with activists before the protest and followed them to the church, where he spent approximately 45 minutes, spoke with 4 parishioners and 5 protesters. In all but one instance, the exchange appeared to be calm. The footage does not show him participating in the chant that disrupted the service. A pastor at one point asked him to leave. 7 minutes later, he exited the church building. Okay, so I can go on and on and on about it. Now, and then they said, what else? Leader Chuck Schumer denounced the arrest on the Senate floor, saying it is a dark message to journalists everywhere. If you dare criticize this administration, watch your back. This is not a democracy. This is a police state, and that is pure authoritarian blow. And then it says who, and he and so, okay, so this is what's going on. So you got Don Lemon being arrested today, and he is a phenomenal, to me, a phenomenal journalist that uh, that is outspoken. Uh, that is outspoken. That is speak his mind, want to get the facts together. When they let him go, CNN, rightfully so, if he was doing some kind of sexual harassment, whatever that situation is, he started again. He started his own platform on YouTube, and I know I watched him on YouTube and TikTok, and I believe he has it on Facebook as well, and so many other channels. He's been denouncing the Trump administration. Just recently, he denounced Nicki Minaj, and him and her was going back. She called him a homophobic and slur. She called him a slur or ICE protest coverage, and then he went and attacked her, and called, and what is it? It says right there. It says. So and I can go. And he's saying now. I just watched another video recently, that he said that Nicki Minaj had paid, I think, $1 million to get the gold card, because Trump has this thing now that you can pay your way into become a citizen, and that she paid herself a gold card because Nicki Minaj wasn't a citizen. She was a Trinidadian, and by her paying $1 million to get that gold card, she's now become a citizen. And a lot of people said they lost her. She lost a lot of fans because a lot of people said she turned herself up against her people because she sided with so-called Trump, and a lot of people said she did it because first, her husband, they say he was a pedophile, and her brother, whatever he did, so. And then Donald Trump, then Don Lemon is saying that lady, what's her name, known with this, whatever her name is known, that she should be fired. So, make a long story short, I I'm going to give you my feedback on, did they do the right thing in arresting him, or did he out uh, overstep his journalist professionalism in trying to get it reported for the anti-ICE? Um, I don't think they should have arrested him. I think that he was doing what he's called to do, and as he's been known as a journalist. And he went out here into the world, into the community, Minnesota, and he did what he's supposed to do. Now, the ones who was there that was protesting and they was being disrupted, yes, the handle yourself, deal with yourself with them. But Don Lemon, I have watched Don Lemon when he for a long time, from him being on CNN to just or just starting out, and I can tell you he's not disrupted a journalist. He's not a person that will go in and start havoc. Yes, he's a journalist that will come and try to get the facts and try to get the answers for the people like us. But to be arrested, I think they did that so to shut him down, because as you said, watch over the news over the decade, he is talking negative against Trump administration. He is telling us, what's going on, things that we don't, as people, as citizens, and people who live in the United States, don't. Some of us don't even realize and what's going on. And I think that this is and I think also they arrested him because they wanted to set an example for him. Because when you look at the different news, like Trump, he's calling the female journalists piggy and telling them be quiet and they stupid and stuff like that. So President Trump don't have any kind of respect when it comes to journalism, especially when it comes to female. But when Don Lemon came and he reported the situation is going on, they needed to shut him down. Now I don't know that when he gets released, or he's already releasing that, if he's going to be quiet. But I think it's a sad situation where you have a title and you have went to school for many years to become a journalist, and you go out here into the community to report what's going on, you get arrested. Now, I have did a video before talking about how people getting into the ICE and federal agents facing and being disrupted. I've said many times before, is a way of protesting, and there's a way of being disrespected. When you get into these ICE and border control police officers and federal control, and you being disrespected, and you get in their face and everything, then yes, you have to realize that the accountability falls on you, and whatever consequences of your action, then you have to accept that. But if you want to go out here and make yourself known, then you have to do it with some kind of substance in class. And it's a way of protesting, and it's a way of just trying to get, to be disruptive. And I don't believe that I don't believe that Don Lemon was disruptive. I don't believe that at all. I believe they're using him as an example so that he can be quiet. And I believe that they, that they trying to keep him quiet, and like that nurse, that ICU nurse who got killed. And when and I didn't know this until I seen the video. Now, you can't always rely on the internet. You can't always rely on what you see. You have to do your facts and make sure that what you see it's true. And when I seen that video, his name was hold on, let me get his name. His name was he was Alex Peretti. I may be pronouncing the last name wrong, Pretti. He was an ICU nurse killed by a federal officer on Saturday, a couple of Saturdays ago in Minneapolis. And he got killed, and they saying that they just killed him. But I came across a video how this nurse was kicking the back of the car, and he spit it at the car. And so they tried, try to work. They was on their way leaving out, and then he kicked the car again. That the back lights of the car broke down. And so when they came to him, he was, way I seen it, he was trying to fight them. So again, they shot him. No, it does not make it right for them to kill this man. But again, you can't be going around to these ICE patrol and border patrol and police and get disrespected to them. Okay, you have to obey the law of the land, and the Bible talks about that. Okay, we have to. Even though we don't agree with the law sometimes, but we have to, and we don't have to accept it. But there's a way of protesting, and there's a way of saying, okay, I'm a protest, and whatever happens. And a lot of these protesters, they go out here and they protest, and they forget about the consequences of their action. So when they end up getting hurt or dead, or worse situation, then they want to call themselves the victim. So again, not to get on that subject, that is another story. I did a part like the first part like that, but that's another story, a video. I need to do a part 2 of the video. But I'm talking about Don Lemon. I do not think that he should have got arrested. And when they went to one court, the one court turned him down. They went to another court, then they had to go to the grand jury, and the grand jury, whatever, they accepted it and said, okay, arrest him. I don't think they should have arrested Don Lemon. I don't see Don Lemon as being disrupted. Now, if I'm wrong, please let me know and tell me I'm wrong. But another thing I want to sit there and say, the reason why it's going down on him, coming down on him, you cannot live a sinful life. Okay, you just can't do that. Now I'm gonna go into. Yes, people gonna say, "Well, that what has to do with it?" It has a lot to do with. You got a phenomenal news journalist who has nothing but high awards, except for the fact that he was he resigned, or they let him go at CNN because of that sexual situation. But other than that, he comes with high expectation. But you can't overlook the fact that how his life is. Okay, he is living a sinful life. He's married to a man. Okay, and God upstairs in heaven is watching everything we do, everything we say. And you cannot say that, oh, well, it wasn't God, this was God's will. No, it's not God wills to punish us. He don't bring suffering, but he allow us to go through the wrath of our sinful ways. So you can't mix sugar with oil and think it's gonna be sweet. You can't do it. It could be either or, like God said in the Bible. You can't be lukewarm. It either be hot. You can either be hot or cold. You like example. You can't serve two masters. And serving two masters, you can't sit there and say Hallelujah, praise God, thank you, Jesus, I'm a child of God, and you going home to a man or to a woman of the same sex and expect to live a peaceful, blissful life. I'm not saying that his sinful life is the reason why he's in jail, but I'm saying he better wake up. He better realize. Just because if he is already out or he's getting out, or I don't know, I haven't seen the news, and I haven't since the earliest morning, but I don't know what happens, and I'm hoping that he is out. But he better realize this is just the inkling of what he has to go through. I said in many of my videos, there's two types of suffering. There's a suffering for God, because you decide to let go and live your life for God and carry the cross for him. And you have let go. And one of the biggest things you have let go is you have let your sinful life away. You have asked God for repentance of your sin. You have given your life over to God. That's the suffering for God. But with that suffering, there's blessings, but blessing is blessing. And then there's a second type of suffering, is that you're living your life for the devil, and you have no animosity of how you live your life for the devil, and you're suffering. And then if you don't repent of your wicked ways, the wickedness of your way is going to send you to the place of eternity, which is hell. So I think that Don Lemon, again, I don't think they should arrest him. I don't see him as a disruptive journalist. I don't see it. I see him as a journalist like to go out here into the community, and I feel like he has more opportunity and more freedom to do it now than he did at CNN, because now he is going beyond the spectrum of what he was doing on CNN. There's certain things he can do within CNN guidelines, but by him having his own little talk platform on TikTok and YouTube and Facebook and any other platform, he can really express how he really feel, and he can really report the things that you can't really do within the guidelines of a news network. And that's one of the reasons I believe that they're trying to shut him down, because he's literally be known. He's talking about the Trump administration. You know, he's telling who's being deported, who's not going to be fired. With he letting us know. And I think with the fact that he just made a video not too long ago saying that Nicki Minaj had paid her way, which I don't know if it's true or not, but paid $1 million to become a citizen, and then leading up to that, right after that, he get arrested. Because I just seen the video. I was watching this video just yesterday, and he had, I don't know, it was posted yesterday now, but I watched the video of him. He was sitting at a Popeye restaurant, and he was talking about how he had a two-leg or thigh and leg in the breast, and he had the biscuit, and he had the red beans and rice, but not the regular rice. He had the dirty rice, because you know he's from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So he's down there in New Orleans. So I was looking at him eating the restaurant, Popeye restaurant. And then I wake up this morning and realize that he got arrested. And I just think the government is corrupted. I think that you can express yourself, but you have to do it in a way, if you're not afraid. Because if you do it in a way that they think is disrespect, they're gonna come after you. And that's what they're doing with Don Lemon and so many other people, advocates that are expressing their way or reporting the things that we don't see on TV. But don't get me twisted or get my words twisted. You can be a protester or advocate, but in a way that is not disrespectful. That I see you, nurse. You know, oh well, they killed the innocent man. But when I looked at the video, he wasn't innocent. See, we thought he was. He was innocent to the point where he was protesting for the rights of people being deported out of this country illegally. That when he was innocent. But two wrong don't make a right when you sit there and you kick a vehicle that it belongs to a federal government employee, and you kick it again and the lights fall off, and then you spit at the car, you know, and then when they get out the car, you're trying to fight them. How innocent was that? My heart goes out to his family and his friends. Yes, it does. And many other protesters that had lost their lives. That Nicole Good, she lost her life by turning around, and they said she tried to hit the ICE police, and they shot her dead. And you know what? She was living a double life. Not a double life messing around on your spouse, but when I say living a double life, what I mean was that she was living a life married to a woman, and the same woman that she was married to, if you look at this video, her wife told her, baby, go ahead, ride on, drive off. And she drove, and then she's dead. And I'm not saying she didn't make it to heaven, but saying she did make it to heaven. She's running to hell, crying out, but then it's too late. People, you have to realize, we all have to realize, including myself, we are held accountable for our actions. And that's why the Bible, God said, don't let him catch us while we sleeping. It ain't only because when he comes back and get his people, it's for the very things like this. Now, Don Lennon did not realize that this morning he was gonna get arrested. He was just not too long ago the way I saw the video. He reported about Nicki Minaj getting the gold card, and then I seen the video of him eating pad pie, and then I realized they arrested him. We have to stay alert, people. We are living in the pearliest times. We're living in the last days when everything that's right is bad and everything that's bad is wrong, is right. We are getting closer to that man that coming on that white horse with that golden crown, which we call Jesus. But I do not think that Don Lemon was wrong. And then you hear some people say they seen the video and he wasn't disrupted at all. I don't think he was disrupted. I just think they didn't want him there to report what's going on. And if I understand it, he's the only one that was inside the church. Where's all the other journalists? Now they could have been there, but I saw the video. He was right there inside the church. And then the pastor, he had some kind of affiliated with ICE. So they used this example. They tried to get him twice, and both times they failed to arrest him. But this third time, okay, let's go and arrest him. Arrest a journalist that comes with high expertise, high recognitions, wars after wars, who was once a news anchor at a very popular a news station or news company. And even though him and them, the news company, CNN, they parted away how it was because etc. But you can't take away the talent this man has. You can't take away the prestigious award this man has. You can't not discredit that. But now, by him being arrested, it's still not going to discredit him because he still comes behind, because there are going to be a lot of people that's going to stand behind him and say what they did was wrong. But again, biblically wise, he just getting a taste of what he's about to face. Because God do not acknowledge sin. You can't be married to the same sex and call yourself a child of God. You can't do it. This world is wicked. And we all are living in this wicked world. And we better wake up because God is on his way back. And we better not only wake up because God is on the way back, because we don't know what's going to happen the very minute, the next moment, the next year, what have you. We could be here right now and be dead to God, be dead to the next minute. We could be here. I can go out my house and say I'm going to the store and be locked up. And something locked up for something I didn't do. We are living in the last days where everything is good is now bad, and everything that's bad is now good. So this is not surprising to me when I see that Don Lemon is arrested. It's not surprising to me when I said again that Don Lemon is arrested, because again they use this man as an example for the journalists. They wanted to set the example to say, hey, we arrested a well-known journalist, and we can arrest him, then we can go out to many other journalists. Because you know why? Because it's going to be a point of time when the rapture comes place. You're going to turn on that TV. There's not going to be a journalist to report what's going on. Or if there are going to be journalists to report, it's not going to be the journalists that we're going to report on the goodness of the Lord. Because God says, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and everything else will come, everything will fall into place, everything will come to pass. But God also said, telling us, now it's time to seek him out. Because one day you're going to wake up and turn that TV on. You're not going to have YouTube channel. You're not going to have TikTok channel. You're not going to have the news to tell you what path to go to lead to God. So that's why God has given us our opportunity to seek him out now, before it's too late. And we don't have a Don Lemon to report and tell us what's going on around. Then who do we have? Who would we have? We need a Don Lemon to go out here into the world and report and what's going on. And I want to say this: I am not a homophobian. I'm not, and I'm not for the judge. But I will say this: I cannot live that sinful life. That's not to discredit Don Lemon or any other homophobia or homosexual. But I am not going to sugarcoat and say, "Oh, okay, it was okay." No, but I am not going to judge that because it's not my place to judge. But I am not living that life that they live. And I would not, if Don Lemon was to ask me, am I living a good Christian life? I would say no. Because the one thing you're lacking is that you living a life living with the same sex. I believe God can use them. God can use anybody. That's why God says in the Bible, come and fall on your knees and cast your burdens and tears upon me. Ask for forgiveness. Now it's time to ask God for forgiveness. But it's up to you to want it. God is not going to put his precious self on you, on me, or anybody else. He will tell you, he will advise you, he will show you the signs that you need to accept him. But he will not pressure you. It's up to you if you want it or not. So I just feel like it's just sad, you know? It's sad, but it's not surprising. You got a journalist being arrested because he went inside the church to report on the activity. I believe that the ICE came to the church to try to get whoever would ask them if they were citizen or what. I don't know what that was, but he went inside the church to report to interview people at the church. He even interviewed, by understanding, he interviewed the pastor of the church, and they said he was disruptive. Wow. And anybody that knows Don Lemon, I don't know him personally, but I watched him over the years. I watched his personality, his demeanor. He has never been disrespected. He has never come across that line of being unprofessional. He had always interviewed people that had grace, that had respect, that will, and even that I saw one video, I don't know if this is AI or not, but the man called him a jerk. And he said, how can you come? He said, I'm sorry, but why did you come to a total stranger and call a total stranger a jerk? Even with that part right there, he did not cross that line being unprofessional. That's why I say I don't believe that. I don't believe that he did that, what they claim he did. I believe they arrested him because they didn't want him there to see what's going on. I believe they arrested him because they wanted him to be quiet. He's doing more than what any other journalist is doing. He's bringing in the information to the community. He's breaking down the relationship between Nicki Minaj and President Trump. Yes, Nicki Minaj. I do believe she is very smart, young, intelligent, artist, singer, dance, whatever you want to call her. But I think that with the path she's going, she's losing a lot of her fans. And I believe that she's losing a lot of fans because sometimes you could be a sellout. You can sit there and look a person behind to get what you want to get. I'm not saying that Nicki Minaj's doing that. I'm just putting it out there. I wouldn't gone that path. There's some things I said in my video, some things I agree with Trump, and there's some things I don't. I don't agree with the fact that ICE is going around here and breaking family up and leaving kids behind. Like I seen the video today, I don't know if it's AI or not, but they said now if a baby is born, Trump is saying now if a baby is born in the United States and his mother or father are not legally citizen over here, that baby is not a citizen. But it's not surprising to me. People, when are you going to wake up and realize we are getting closer to the end time? When are you going to realize God is on his way back? And I know many people, I'm so tired of people say, well, it's been like that for years and God is coming. Because God's time is not our time. And look around, going around the world now. Look what's going on happening now. It's getting closer because this world can't keep going like a yo-yo, spinning and spinning, spinning, up and down, spinning, spinning. This world can't keep going on like that because if it was, and if it is, then the Bible is a lie, and the Bible represents Jesus. After a while, everything has to come to an end. Why do you think we age? We age, we're young, then all of a sudden we started getting older, we start aging. Because God created our body to age. When He created us to be born to work, we're born to die. Eventually we're going to die. Some people will never see the taste of death. But that does not mean that their time is up. It's all in God's plans. So when they arrested Don Lemon, or any other journalist like him, it's not surprising. When they killed these protesters, especially the peaceful protesters, it's nothing surprising. But I'll tell you this, if you want to go protest, there's nothing wrong protesting. But I said in my last video, you can't go around these officials, you can't go up in these officials' face and be sarcastic and be disrespectful and try to throw violence at them to think, okay, I'm going to be the victim, because you have to respect their title. Okay, they're law enforcement. Even though you cannot accept it, but you have to respect their titles. Even if they're wrong, there's a better way of showing the world that they're wrong. But when you go into these law enforcement faith and you showing them with violence and you being disrespectful, what do you think they're gonna do? You think they're gonna sit and say, okay, well, these citizens, we're not gonna, they're gonna retaliate. It's a better way of doing things. Don't put yourself in this situation. Don't put yourself in your situation and you have possibly end up in the hospital, possibly dead or hurt. It's not worth it. Do the right thing. Use the brains that God has given us. And if you don't know, now it's time to fall on your knees and cry out to our God. He's right there ready with open arms. He just waited for us to see what we are planning on doing. And Don Lemon, I think he is a phenomenal news journalist. I followed him when he was at CNN, and when he left CNN, I followed him on YouTube and TikTok. He's a phenomenal journalist, but his life, the way he living his life, is not aligned with the Lord. And that's why when things happen, we wonder why things happen to us in a situation like this. He better get out that jail, run to God, ask God forgiveness, and the next thing he needs to do is divorce that man. Because that man, God do not acknowledge his marriage. He can be married to that man for 50 years, and God's still not going to acknowledge that marriage. Because why? Because they both have penis and not vaginas, and they both living in sin. And God did not create two penises. He created two penis and vagina. Adam and Eve. Last thing I realized, Adam had a penis. Last thing I realized, Eve had a vagina. I am married to a man who has a penis. I have a vagina. I am not married to a woman, but I'm married to a man. And God respect my marriage. So if he want to do the right thing, he needs to divorce that man before it costs him his life. And his life will turn into leaving to go into the place of eternity. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. Please tap that bell for more notification for future videos, the live or postings. And you want to comment on it, that's fine. Comment on it positive. You want to do negative comment, I don't associate with negative comment. I leave it on there because I know if there's anything negative comments on my videos or any of my videos, I know I'm doing what God instructed me to do. Until next time, peace be with you. Be easy.